on here, but I know I have more. I've got Alban, Alan, Angel, Emily, Yvonne, Jesus, Jose, Karen, Luisa, Marisol, Randy, Ruby, William, Yair, Yulivani. I'm missing Annabelle, Gabriel, Junior, and I think Santiago. So make sure you're making your way on here. Okay, we're good. Okay, so today is our last day on adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, okay? We're going to look at a few mixed problems. We have our quiz tomorrow, okay? So we talked about this the other day. I told you yesterday that our quiz was going to be Wednesday. So make sure, again, everything I'm writing up there, you're writing in your notebook. You have the 3 problems if you're in the building. If you're at home, make sure you're writing them in your notebook. And I know those of you at home are pretty good about it. So we are adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. Reminder, so you know I like to post this at the beginning of every slide. And remember, this is only when we're adding and subtracting numbers. When you add a positive and a positive, you get a positive. And you should have this in your notebook. Lo deben tener ya en la libreta. When we have a negative plus a negative, you get a negative answer. And when we add a negative plus a positive or a positive plus a negative, it takes the sign of the larger number. So before we start with our lesson, I did a time to climb. So remember, pencil, notebook. If you have a marker, you can write on your desk. Yes, ma'am? Okay, I'll do you next. Okay, we've already gone over our criteria for success. And remember, it's on each one of our problems, so I'm not going to go over it again right now. Okay, time to climb. Are we good with Halloween, or do we want to do a different one? Huh? Space? I got a request and nobody else said no, so here we go. We're going to space. Make sure to choose your character. I have 19 in class. I should have 19 on my time to climb. We're at 15. I'm going to give about 10 more seconds and I'm going to move past. So if you're not signed up, you won't get to participate. And yes, it is a little slow today. Worst case scenario, we can fix it. Okay, so first problem is 5 minus negative 3. Remember, if it's subtraction, change to addition. If it is subtraction, change to addition. I'm so sorry. please. Good. I like how I'm seeing some of you using your notebook. Guessing should not be the answer. We should be using our notebook to work these out. There's more than enough time. No adivines, usa la libreta. Good. Was I mistaken? Oh no. Yep. Ruby's in third place. Ah, bien. Uno. Se usa contadores. Es necesario. Estás buscando las notas. No, lo debes estar haciendo en la libreta. Así, mira. Yo sé, yo soy la maestra, soy súper cuidado. Oh, Emily's coming in second. Ruby, what happened? That's why I like this problem. ¿Lo cogiste bien? What? Oh, overall leaderboard. Jose won again. Jose, I'm writing your name down so I don't forget to give you candy tomorrow. You, Ivani, you too. I told you, if you won yesterday, top 3, to remind me to give you candy. So we've got Jose, Ivani in second, and Jesus in third. So Jesus gets to choose his flavor. Okay. Okie dokie. So moving to our first problem. Okay, so I know that I made it so that you can write on it. Write it in your notebook. Don't do it in your Nearpod for the first problem. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because I know the fractions are a little bit weird to read. So let's go ahead and start. Are we ready? Okay. So, y si necesitan que diga algo en español o lo repita porque lo dije en inglés, me dejan saber. Okay, so we're reading our criteria. Reminder, okay, because I'm still seeing this problem. It says if it is subtraction. So if the problem is already addition, should I be changing it? Should I be changing it if it's already addition? No, I should not. So la única manera que lo cambio es si el problema ya es uno de resta. No lo cambio si es un problema de suma. So remember, with problems like these, we're going to do one piece and then we'll do the next piece, okay? So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller again, just because it's too big now. Okay, so we have negative 11 over 12 minus 4/9 plus 1/2. So I'm going to do the first chunk. And that's the same thing you're going to do in your notebook. So I'm going to do my first chunk. So I have negative 11 over 12 plus 4 over 9. Okay? Is this piece subtraction? It is. It's subtraction. So I need to change it to an addition problem. So I'm going to go ahead and do my columns. And I'm going to rewrite it. So again, I know it's a little bit small, but I'm going to rewrite it up here. So what happens to my negative 11 over 12? It stays the same. So I have negative 11 over 12. What happens to my subtraction sign? Changes to plus. And then what happens to my positive 4 over 9? It turns negative. We do the opposite of that. So we're going to do negative 4 over 9. So that's my new first chunk. Okay? So now, make sure you have common denominators. Does it have common denominators already? It does not. I have 1 over 12 and 1 over 9. So I need to figure out what my common denominator is. So I heard yesterday we were having some trouble with this. Yes or no? Estábamos teniendo dificultad cambiando el número de abajo. ¿Más o menos? Okay. So this is how we do it. Okay? And we're going to do it the simplest way possible. Así es como lo vamos a hacer. Apuntas tu 12. Apuntas tu 9. Y es como si estuvieras haciendo tus números por 12 o multiplicación. So, cuando cuento mis números por 12, sé que 12 va primero. Y después, ¿qué número va? What comes after 12? So, if I do 12 plus 12, it gives me 24. And then if I do plus 12 more, what does it give me? It gives me 36. So, I already know that 36 is one of those numbers that 9 goes into, so I'm going to stop. So now I'm going to do 9. So I have 9, and what else? 18. So again, I'm not writing this down for myself. This should be going in your notebook. Lo deben estar escribiendo. Porque si no, mañana llega el examen y dicen, ¿qué fue eso que la maestra me trató de enseñar y no apunté? No me acuerdo. What comes after 18? 27. You guys know your 9 timetables better than I do. What comes after 27? 36. Perfect. So I have 36 and 36. But I'm not done. Are we good so far with me? We good? We good? Okay. So now I need to change my fractions, right? So 12 times what gave me 36? Times 3. So this would have been times 1, times 2, times 3. So tengo que ver que por 12 multiplica a darme 36. Es el 3. So tengo que multiplicar toda esta fracción por el 3, que me da negative 33 over 36 plus negative, now I got to figure out my 4/9. So 9 times what gives me 36? Times 4. And if you're not sure, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I love about this. I can just count it out. So times 4. So I'm going to multiply this whole fraction by 4. I'm sorry, that multiplication sign looks funky. So 4 times 4 gives me, really, we know our 9 times table, but not our 4? 16, thank you. Over 36. So I'm ready to solve the first piece. Are we good with this part? Can I erase it? Okay. Atrás, ¿puedo borrar este pedacito aquí arriba? Yeah? Okay, so now, I did my first step. I did my second step. My third step. Is my answer going to be positive or is it going to be negative? Why is it going to be negative? Good, because I'm adding a negative plus a negative. So my answer is going to be negative. Am I going to add these two numbers or subtract them? I'm going to add them. Because when you have a negative and a negative, you're adding. So what is 33 plus 16? 49? 49. And then we put 36. Whew. That was my first step. Alan, ¿está bien? ¿Apuntando todo? Okay, so I did my fourth step. And I did my fifth step. Am I finished? I'm not finished because I got to go back because I still got to do that plus 1/2. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and kind of bring it down here because I'm running out of space. So I have negative 49 over 36 plus 1/2. So I'm coming back to the top. Is this a subtraction problem? No. So I do not have to change it. Step 2, do I have common denominators? No. But you know what? I know that 2 goes into 36. So all I have to do is change this 2. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing we did with the 12 and the 9. I'm going to do it right here. So can someone count by 2s for me? Whoops, I wrote 9, 12. What was the next one? Oh, I'm behind. What times 2 gives me 36? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. But the good thing is that this is an easy number to multiply with. So I'm going to multiply by 18. What is 1 times 18? 18 over 36. And I'm just rewriting the rest of my problem. Okay. Now, next up, we did that. Determine if our answer is going to be negative or positive. It's going to be negative. Why is it going to be negative? Good, because my negative number is the bigger one. So I'm going to go ahead and put negative. Now, am I really going to add or am I going to subtract? I'm going to subtract. Why? Good. So 49, when you have a negative and you have a positive, remember, you subtract. So 49 minus 18. And remember, you won't be using calculators. So what's 9 minus 8? What's 4 minus 1? 3. So my answer is 31 over 36. And then I circle C. Remember, those of you at home, make sure that if you have a question, you can type it in the chat. Okay. Okay, thank you for telling me now. Usually you're like the first one to tell me when I do something wrong. Oh, okay. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and erase. So you should have everything written down at this point. Jeez Louise. I should have just erased the easy way. Why? Why? Okay, so let's check the time because I want to make sure that you guys have enough time to do your exit ticket. So we are going to skip past this next one because it's another one like the first one. And we're going to skip straight to our word problem. So this should be the third one in your notebook. If it's not, I'm sorry, I might have put it in the wrong order. Okay, so make sure you're on this one. Okay, quiero dar tiempo para que puedan hacer su exit ticket. Okay, Richard monitored the temperature outside of his house. And remember, word problems, we read them how many times? 2 times. Good. So the temperature was -1 Celsius at 1 o'clock p.m. The temperature had increased by 3 degrees at 4 p.m. At 11 p.m., the temperature had dropped by 4 degrees. What is the temperature outside Richard's house at 11 p.m.? So let's go back in and underline. You ready to underline? I need to see your pencil. Make sure you're underlining on your paper. Richard monitored the temperature outside of his house. The temperature was 1 degree Celsius. at 1 p.m. or negative 1 degree, sorry. The temperature had increased by 3 degrees. Okay, question. If it's increasing, am I going to be adding or am I going to be subtracting? I'm going to be subtract. When I increase, Randy, when I increase, I subtract? No. You do what? Adding. You add. So this one's going to be addition. I'm going to make a little note. I'm going to put a little plus there. At 11 p.m., the temperature had dropped by 4 degrees. Okay, so again, let's think about that word. Dropped. So if I drop, is it going to be adding something or subtracting? I'm going to be subtracting. So now it says, what is the temperature outside his house at 11 p.m.? I'm going to write my equation. So I start with negative 1. We said it increased by 3. So we have plus 3. And then it dropped by 4. So we subtract 4. So we got negative 1 plus 3 minus 4. So notice again how we did that. We read it 2 times. We underlined and we figured out, are we adding? Are we subtracting? What are we doing? So let's go in. So can I just do the whole problem or do I have to chunk it? Maybe I can do the whole problem, but Ruby says we gotta chunk it. I feel like we gotta chunk it too. I don't wanna make a mistake. So I'm gonna chunk the first piece and then we'll move on to the second. If it's subtraction, change it. Do I need to change it? No, because it's addition. So I can just go ahead and work it out. Do I need common denominators? No. Would that make sense? No, I don't have fractions. Is my answer going to be positive or negative? It's going to be positive. Why? Because my 3 is larger than my 1. So my answer is going to be, and I'm going to write it over here, it's going to be positive. Am I going to add it or really subtract it in my head? So what do we do with a negative and a positive number? We actually do what? You subtract it. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract these numbers. What is 3 minus 1? 2. So I'm going to go ahead and write 2. Am I finished? No, I got to rewrite this thing over here. So now I have 2 minus 4. Are you good? ¿Está bien? ¿Vamos bien? ¿Vamos bien? ¿Está bien, Daniel? Okay, so we're coming back up to the top. Is it subtraction? So do I have to change it? Yes, I do. So I'm going to do my little columns. What happens to my number 2? It stays the same. What happens to my subtraction? Changes to addition. And what happens to my 4? Changes to negative 4. Thank you. Again, do I need to do anything with denominators? No, I don't. Is my answer going to be positive or negative? Negative. Why is it going to be negative? Someone who's not Jesus. Because the 4 is bigger than the 2. Good. So, do I add these numbers or do I subtract these numbers? I subtract these numbers. So what is 4 minus 2? Negative 2. Good. So I am finished. Okay. So I know usually we have a little bit more of a chance to write in our Nearpod, but with it being review, I wanted to make sure we went over all of them together. But I did do a little, so many windows. I did a little matching activity at the end. So remember we talked about additive inverse, and we have a 2 and a negative to give a 0 to create 0 pairs. That is what you are going to do. Okay, so go ahead. I was just making sure they're on your screen. Go ahead and create your 0 pairs on your screen. I'm going to take names off so no one gets all. Van a crear sus parejas o los que están ahí mirando la pantalla como si fuera un, no sé qué, un monstruo. You done? Look at you. I thought it was cute. Yeah. I was like, another good way for them to practice their additive inverse, especially since the other day when they were doing it in the activity, they were having such a hard time and they were bring it back. Okay, once you're finished, sit there for me for a second while we wait for everyone else to join us. I'm going to give us about 30 more seconds. I see a lot of people done. Make sure you have all the pairs. Oh, I'm done. Very good. I'm done. I know, you finished. I'm like, what? It looks like more on the Angel. Like on Angel Screen Live, that's 15 million. Oh, wow, good. Thank you. ¿Vas mejor? ¿Ya lo vas entendiendo? I like this one. Like, I've never thought to do it, but I think that when we get to equations, I'm going to do like this one-step equations memory map on the answer and the boom. I'm excited about that. I know it's done. Yeah, you know, it would be a good idea to bring something like that back. Yeah, I think. Like as a memory match, I just got to figure out like maybe like unsimplified and then simplified fraction and have them kind of match it. That would be cool. Okay, so we are all done. Okay, exit ticket. Because I know in here we had a little bit of trouble yesterday. Click it, and I'm going to show you. Don't start yet. So on here, you're going to do your exit ticket. When you're finished, cuando acabes de hacer el exit ticket, no han terminado. You're not done after the exit ticket. El exit ticket no es su trabajo del día. Es lo mismo que yo les doy normalmente en Nearpad, que les doy un problema o les doy 2 problemas y entonces tienen classwork. Esto es lo mismo. So, cuando terminen el exit ticket, van a oprimir next. Next los va a llevar a su trabajo. So, esa es la parte donde yo dije, esta semana es un poquito diferente porque todos no van a tener el mismo trabajo al final. Dependiendo lo que sacaron en el exit ticket es el trabajo que les van a dar. ¿Ok? So yo hice 3 trabajos diferentes y dependiendo lo que sacan en el exit ticket, los va a llevar a uno de esos trabajos, okay? So go ahead, do your exit ticket. Once you're done, if you need help, make sure you're asking. Same for those of you at home. Okay, you're doing your exit ticket, you're clicking next, going to classwork. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. For those of you at home, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Remember to ask for help, either the chat or out loud.